What the United States government did was shameful.
The government is spying on you.
Of course.
The U.S. Air Force was developing a gay bomb.
What the hell?
How do you slow down an impending... The CIA conducted mind control.
Oh, yeah.
The idea...
What's good? Dark Knight motherfucking gang. I'm Neptune. Look, bro, today I'm about to react to a video titled Conspiracy Theories That Turned Out to Be True. Oh my God, this should be fuego. I love talking conspiracy theories. I love to see the conspiracy theories come true because it just shows you how insane this world is. You feel me? I love when we have some crazy conspiracy theories that's happening. AKA, do y'all remember what happened in 2020? We're talking about the virus. Remember the virus that happened in 2020 and the jabs they were pushing on people? Oh yeah, that conspiracy is going to come true too. If you got the jab, I hope nothing crazy going to happen to you. But we going to see in the next few years. Anyway, I'm ready to watch this video, Conspiracy Theories That Turned Out to Be True. It's so many. The government is shady. Nigga, this world is crazy. Everybody just want the bag. Everybody do anything for the bag. You feel me? Anyway, let's watch this video. Shout out to the gang. As you can see, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Today's a great day. I hope you're feeling good too, bro. Look, I'll show you some nipple. There you go. There's some nipple to make your day feel better. I'm ready to hop into this video. What the f was that? I'm tripping. Let's hop into this video. Let's go.
Nazi officers tried to kill Hitler. Several efforts were made to assassinate Adolf Hitler during the height of World War II. Perhaps the most famous one is sometimes known as Operation Valkyrie, otherwise referred to as the 20th of July plot.
The Führer, Adolf Hitler, is dead. A group of radicals in the SS are attempting to seize control of the government. Initiate Operation Valkyrie.
Members of the German resistance planned to set off a bomb during Hitler's visit to the Wolf's Lair headquarters. German army officer Klaus von Stauffenberg managed to place the hidden explosive, but the result failed to kill the Nazi leader. The other part of the plot involved seizing control of the military in the dictator's absence. Despite painstaking attempts to account for every move, the operation was discovered, and the co-conspirators were largely executed.
The rest of you are under arrest.
No, General. You are.
The film Valkyrie brought a renewed interest to the complicated story of the failed plot.
Yeah, I might watch this.
Number 19.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard that there were some Nazis that eventually wanted to turn on Hitler. I was about to say shout out to those Nazis, but I mean, nah, don't shout out to them niggas because you became a Nazi in the first place. Something wrong with you. But if they would have succeeded, that would have been fire.
The U.S. Air Force was developing a gay bomb.
What the hell?
How do you slow down an impending army? Instead of dropping lethal explosives, the U.S. military once considered an unexpected alternative.
This is how you know the U.S. is out of its fucking mind. You gonna drop a gay bomb? What does that even mean?
The possibility of dropping a non-lethal bomb full of pheromone mixture on troops. Although this idea never reached the battlefield, the theory was that soldiers would be too distracted by each other to keep fighting.
That you will not only be disinclined to fight, but you will be compelled to be having sex with the people around you.
It's especially clear that authorities were really reaching with this particular idea.
Do they really think that, like, faced with, like, guns and, like, being killed, they're really going to choose sex?
Though.
This isn't to be confused with the theoretical and equally confusing concept of gaydar, which the Canadian authorities hoped would reveal people's sexual preferences. All the same, it's crazy to think that any amount of time was spent working on a gay bomb.
That's what I'm saying. That is insane.
They rejected this proposal. It's simply not true, and we have the facts to demonstrate that they've continued to think about it and to consider it.
Number 18.
Bro, that is insane. I've never heard of that ever before. What if, here's this new conspiracy that just popped into my mind. What if the chemtrails that we see the airplanes release, what if those are the gay pheromones and they're trying to turn everybody gay? People already say they mess with your hormones. Ooh, what if that's the gay bomb and they doing it to us? Damn.
The U.S. worked with former Nazi
What did I
scientists.
tell you? We do whatever we want.
Even though the Allies won the war and put many Nazi war criminals on
That's
trial,
crazy.
that didn't stop the U.S. from hiring German scientists.
Yeah, I heard about
These
this.
experts were later integral in the development of the U.S. space program and other military improvements during the Cold War.
Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? Nazi scientists who were helping kill off Jews and helping the Nazi party. The U.S. was like, wait. These men are so smart. They're going to work for us now. Like, what? It's just, hey, that's the U.S., bro.
Many of them had close ties and allegiance to the Nazis, making this entire operation all the more controversial.
There was, on the
They
one
don't
hand,
care.
the truth about the program kept secret, and on the other hand, the idea that we'll tell the public that these are the good Germans.
The Soviet Union also conducted a similar operation in attempts to bolster their post-war staying power. One of the recruits for the American side, Wernher von Braun, is considered among the more important figures in modern rocketry and early space travel. Sometimes celebrating their achievements, the authorities also largely disregarded many of the subjects' connections to atrocities. Faked Gulf War testimony.
What I saw happen to the children of Kuwait and to my country has changed my life forever.
The Gulf War was a brief but notable conflict preempted by the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait. The U.S. intervened soon after, using a number of stories to support the decision, including the testimony of a teenager.
Withdraw from
Wow.
Kuwait.
And it was a
or
lie?
Face a coalition
The U.S.,
ready
bro.
and willing to employ
We crazy. We
all
lit.
means necessary.
She was known as Nayira, and her account of babies being removed from incubators in Kuwait shocked and helped sell the war to American citizens.
And just lying.
Incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor. It was horrifying.
It became a much-quoted story for President George H.W. Bush,
And it
other
all was a
proponents of
lie.
military action.
Just to promote
Later revealed to be
the war.
falsified. Nayira was actually the daughter of the Kuwaiti ambassador to the United States.
Oh my God.
She not only didn't see any crimes firsthand, but many details were generated by a PR firm.
Of course.
The case has become infamous as a deeply flawed attempt to sell the war.
I'm glad I'm 15, old enough to remember Kuwait before Saddam Hussein destroyed it, and young enough to rebuild it.
Shut up.
Number 14.
That's what the government does. The government, they put out false flag stories to get the public opinion behind them. You know, like 9/11. We all know about 9/11. Oh, yeah, 9/11. Ah. The government completely lied to people so they can go and have their wars. That's just what we do. That's what the United States does. The United States is, in my opinion, one of the best countries in the world for sure. But we're like the popular girl in school that does whatever she wants and everybody else is just watching and nobody's saying nothing. We're like the Regina George. If you ever seen Mean Girls, we're like the Regina George of the world. You know what I'm saying? We treat everyone crazy. Nobody says nothing. Everybody just kind of looking. China don't like us though. They just sitting back watching like Americans think they so fire. But I mean, we are. We are, nigga. We crazy, but we are.
Tuskegee Study.
They were never told that they had the disease.
One of the most horrifying chapters in American medical history came out of the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. A research study offered black men free health care in exchange for a secretive and unethical observation, withholding syphilis diagnoses from participating members. Researchers from health organizations such as the U.S. Public Health Service attempted to study the effects of untreated syphilis without treating the patients.
Knowing that you were denied treatment and that you were lied to would affect anybody.
Of course.
This also came at a time when penicillin was becoming a widely confirmed treatment for the sufferers of the disease.
And for the sake of science, they sacrificed some human beings. And it raised the question, did they really believe these men were human beings?
Not only was it a complete travesty perpetrated by the medical community, but it created a genuine distrust of the healthcare system among many people in the African American community.
What the United States government did was shameful, and I am sorry.
Number 13.
I'm mad that the narrator didn't want to say what the f it truly was. They went to Tuskegee and they injected people with syphilis. They weren't just, oh yeah, we're just going to monitor them. No, nigga, don't be afraid to tell the truth. This narrator, he didn't want to tell the truth. The truth is they went there and they injected syphilis into those black men. And then they wanted to see how does untreated syphilis, how does it affect the human body? But let's go to Tuskegee, and we're going to give all these black men syphilis, and we're not going to give them a vaccine. We have to see how it affects them. That's what happened. Yeah, bro. That wasn't even 100 years ago. That wasn't long ago, my boy. This is what the government does. And they did it again with the jab to most people. They said, we're going to see what this does. The world is crazy.
Big tobacco's big lie.
Oh my
There's
God.
extensive use of this technology, which is called ammonia chemistry.
In about 10 years, the next conspiracy is going to be big pharma and big sugar and the food industry, and how fast food and sugar is horrible for you, but they just lying to everybody to make a profit.
That allows for nicotine to be more rapidly absorbed in the lungs and therefore affect the brain and central nervous system.
Smoking causes lung cancer and a lot of other adverse health effects.
For sure.
Scientists demonstrated this definitively in the 1950s.
And they
However,
were lying
public
about
opinion wavered for decades, with sources springing up to generate controversy and debate. Some suspected that the tobacco industry was suppressing and distorting the facts through a coordinated campaign, and it eventually came out that they were. Together, the world's largest tobacco companies initiated Operation Berkshire to generate fake controversy and debate. Big Tobacco knew that smoking caused cancer and that nicotine was addictive. They decided not to make cigarettes less harmful because addiction made them a lot of money.
Of
Now, the
course,
work we did here is confidential.
It's the
not
same
for
thing
public
with big
scrutiny
sugar.
Any more than I once family
With
members.
food, bro, I'm telling you, it's the same thing.
Just goes to show, where there's smoke, there's often fire.
See how camels agree with your throat. See how mild and good tasting a cigarette can be.
Bro, but that's what I'm saying. So many conspiracy theories that people just aren't aware of because the government doesn't really care. The government just wants to make money off you. They don't care if you're healthy or not. They actually don't want you healthy. So then now you'll be stuck in the healthcare system and you just continue to give them all your money. That's what the government wants. I mean, that's what corporations want. And a lot of people, a lot of people are asleep to these facts, and it's fine. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that when you finally wake up and take back your own life and you take back your own health, everything will change, and then you'll see life through the lens that it really is. So big corporations like food, tobacco, sugar, of course they're not going to tell you the truth. They trying to make money, bro. Why would the sugar companies tell you, listen, man, sugar is as addictive as drugs. Sugar is the leading cause of obesity, the leading cause of heart disease. Sugar is one of the leading causes that are killing most people in the world today. Sugar companies not going to tell you that.
The FBI spied on political activist groups.
Oh, of course.
All power to all the people!
Those involved in political protests and other activist causes are often paranoid.
Bro, the crazy part is the FBI still does this stuff to this day. Andrew Tate.
That they're being watched. And they should be, because it's happened before and it can happen again.
This was a good
Tapes
movie,
from
though.
the hotel rooms, FBI reports, those are pieces of information that we shouldn't have.
From the late 50s to the early 70s, the FBI engaged in illegal surveillance, infiltration, and disruption of
Nigga, they
protest
still do it
movements
to this
and other
day.
organizations deemed subversive.
He realized how sick this country was. We were trying to reveal the truth about segregation.
These ranged from independence movements to civil rights movements to feminist organizations. They even had John Lennon, the former Beatles frontman, under watch. While this program, named COINTELPRO, was abolished in 1971, others may have taken its place.
This represents the darkest part of the Bureau's history.
The
For
White
sure, I can
Sox
see
threw
that.
the World Series.
Oh,
The Chicago White Sox are on record for having one of the longest droughts between winning World Series at 87 years. However, they weren't always known for their bad luck. Back in the late 1910s, the Sox won in 1917, and they even had a wonder like Shoeless Joe Jackson on the team. Yet, rumors during the 1919 series held that the games were fixed. The White Sox lost the series, but the rumors persisted into the next year. Eventually, a grand jury found evidence that 8 players, including Jackson, though his role is disputed, were involved in a conspiracy to receive money in exchange for throwing the series.
I think the Black Sox players saw a high reward for what they were doing. They could make as much as their yearly salary in 1 week for fixing the World Series.
While a trial found them not guilty, they were nevertheless banned from the league permanently.
I mean, who's really surprised by that? I'm not too surprised by that. What I would be surprised, though, is if teams and players are still doing this to this day. It's probably refs. It's probably not players. It's probably coaches and refs. I wouldn't be surprised.
Scientologists infiltrated the U.S. government. The Church of Scientology is infamously touchy about any criticism of their organization.
I saw a documentary on that.
I didn't mean anything by it.
Insane.
I don't even know L. Ron Hubbard.
Their influence over celebrities is well known, but theories about their influence over the government are also out there. And here's the thing. Scientologists really did infiltrate the government. In the 1970s, at least 5,000 members of the organization conducted espionage on government agencies and private organizations. And this wasn't a fringe element either. The founder's wife, Mary Sue Hubbard, pleaded guilty and went to prison. It was one of the largest-scale infiltrations of the U.S. government in history. All of this was done with the aim of destroying evidence that painted Scientology in an unfavorable light. It arguably had quite the opposite effect.
Boy, those Scientologists, they can be pretty sensitive.
I saw the documentary on Scientology. It's on Netflix, right? I saw it like a year or two ago. It is insane how they treat their members. Scientology, that's a full-blown cult, bro. It's a full-blown cult. Them infiltrating the government and trying to change public opinion, that's hilarious. That lets you know how horrible Scientology is, bro.
The government is spying on you.
Of course.
The common refrain for cranks and conspiracy nuts for decades has been that the government is watching our every move. And it's not completely wrong. With the rise of smartphones and the internet, the government has unprecedented access to information on its citizens.
Yeah.
They're following us.
They have access to everything that you do.
In the wake of 9/11,
live,
the Bush administration
your bank
initiated
account,
far-reaching mass surveillance programs.
What you
both
look at
foreign
on
and
social
domestic.
media?
The NSA's activities in the years since have included sucking up and storing online history, emails, metadata, text messages, you name it.
Yeah.
Edward Snowden revealed a lot of this info with his leaks, including how other governments were also implicated.
Even if you send it to somebody within the United States, your wholly domestic communication between you and your wife can go from New York to London and back and get caught up in the database.
Few believe that in the time since, governments have just given up.
Yeah, the government is still spying on you. But I don't like to use that term spying on you because normal, everyday people like you and me, they think, oh, the government is watching me. No, nigga, it ain't like that. They ain't watching your every move. It's just that they have access to everything that you do. They can literally tap into your phone and see what you're doing, where you've been at. So if you're somebody that is trying to stir up political unrest, they can easily spy on you. And the government is not checking what you're doing, but it's just that if they wanted to, they can at any time. But you're not a person of interest. If you were a person of interest, yeah, they'll be spying on you all the time to see what you're up to.
False justification of war.
Of course,
in August
we already talked about
1964, the USS Maddox fired a warning shot as 3 North Vietnamese torpedo boats approached the Gulf of Tonkin. After the torpedo boats opened fire, the Maddox sank all 3. 2 days later, the report of a second attack, known as the Gulf of Tonkin Incident, prompted President Lyndon B. Johnson to authorize further military action in Vietnam. For years, people questioned this justification.
At one point, the commander of the ship said, we're not certain of the attack. Another point, they said, yes, we're absolutely positive. And then finally, late in the day, Admiral Sharp said, yes, we're certain it happened.
It was eventually revealed that the second attack was imaginary, based on wrongly interpreted communications intercepts. It wasn't the last dubious rationale for war. As we already mentioned, in 1990, George H.W. Bush leveraged false testimony crafted by a public relations firm to initiate the Gulf War.
Yeah.
Over a decade later, his son would falsely claim that Iraq possessed WMDs to justify an invasion.
The people of the United States and our friends and allies
9/11.
will not live at the mercy of an outlaw regime that threatens the peace with weapons of mass murder.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get
That's what I was saying
notified
about 9/11. They tried to say they had weapons of mass destruction, knowing damn well they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. They just told everybody that so we can be okay with us going over there and killing people.
The CIA conducted mind control.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The idea of a government agency trying to control people's minds might sound like science fiction, but it really happened.
Prostitutes would lure men to these apartments, and then once the men were in the apartments, they were dosed with LSD, and then they were basically studied by CIA scientists.
In the 1970s,
Okay, I didn't know
a
what
commission
happened like
on
that.
the CIA's activities within
That's
the
crazy.
U.S. exposed the existence of Project MK-Ultra, a secret program that used drugs and torture to manipulate its victims' mental states.
This Kool-Aid was spiked with LSD. It was horrible.
These experiments were conducted on prisoners in secret detention centers around the world, as well as within American universities, hospitals, and prisons.
The day that my father was brought to the hospital, they immediately put him on insulin to put him into like an insulin coma.
The CIA also funded brutal experiments involving electroconvulsive therapy in Montreal, Canada. Victims of MK-Ultra included Ken Kesey and Allen Ginsberg. It's one of the darkest conspiracies out there, and we still don't know the full extent of it.
All right, bro, that was a great video. We saw some conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. I basically gave my reaction to each one throughout, but I will say this about that last one, the whole MK-Ultra experiment that they conducted on people. Some people believe that the government is still doing mind control to this day. Think about it. Some people believe the government was successful, and they realized, okay, we can't control people's minds through media, through sound, through images. So based on certain frequencies that they hear, certain images that they see, we can program them. The government found that out. So some people think that the government is still programming people to this day. I don't know. That could be the case. The government could be programming us, but MK-Ultra was a success. It's a conspiracy that was a success. I don't know why this dude didn't say that. He should have told y'all that, yeah, it's a conspiracy, and it turned out the government can mess with your mental state, change your beliefs, change what you think, what you feel, all of that, based on different sound frequencies, based on what they show you. Yeah, it's insane, bro. So, like I said, some people still think to this day that governments are running mind control on a lot of its people. I don't know. I can't speak on that. I don't think the government is utilizing mind control tactics on us. But who knows? I don't have all the answers. They could, bro. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, this world is crazy. The U.S. is insane. But I love it, nigga. Who wouldn't want to live in a world that's as crazy as this? This world is insane. I love this shit. Shout out to the gang. Everybody have a good day. Have a great day. I'm going to see y'all next time. Yeah. Peace.